My name is Priyanka Gupta, and I'm currently the director of GKB Opticals. So we are national eyewear retail chain.
If you had to describe your leadership style in one statement, what would it
I would like to call myself a servant style leader.
What is that one risk you took in your career that actually worked for you?
There are a lot of risks we take. 99 of them percent fail, but this one risk that was taken was a success for us.
What is that one misconception that people have about women leaders in India?
So the misconception people have is a woman has to become a man to be a leader, right?
Yes. So, what would be your advice to the students who would like to start their own business?
I do believe that one should not start business purely out of passion.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I welcome you to the Crazy Careers podcast. Thank you so much for joining us in today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me a part of it.
So, before we get into the actual conversation, would you mind letting us know a bit about yourself, your journey so far, and also the work that you do?
Absolutely. So, my name is Priyanka Gupta, and I'm currently the director of GKB Opticals. So, we are a national eyewear retail chain. Currently, have close to about 100 stores across the country, and I am also third generation in the business. My grandfather started this company back in 1959, and now we are here with with the pan India presence. So, that's a small nutshell about me.
So, tell me one thing like, if you had to describe your leadership style in one statement, what would it be?
I would like to call myself a servant style leader.
Okay.
So, the reason is that there's a small anecdote to that. I've always been very service driven as a person, and I did my university from the United States. I was in Los Angeles for 4 years. I did my undergraduate course, and over there, I was part of a lot of these service organizations where we would go out into society and work. We worked with a focus for women and children. And there was this gentleman, he was a big inspiration for me. His name is Thomas King, and he talked about servant style leadership. That how, as a leader, you are actually, you may be at the top of the pyramid, but you have to look at the pyramid inward. So even though you are at the top, you have a big responsibility. So you must serve as much as you can. So that's how I adopted this leadership style of serving.
It does like help in connecting with your employees and understanding like what is their mindset and letting them work for you. So that's how it helps, I believe. Like, I heard this kind of leadership style for the first time, but I'm sure like this is really helpful in that way.
Yes. So I think true leadership is one where you lead from the back, not from the
Mm-hmm.
front,
Yes,
right? Because from the front you can see nothing, but from the back you can see everything, right?
absolutely.
Uh,
Correctly said.
so from the back, it is you get a bird's eye view of your organization, your team. But if you only stand in the front, you will not be able to see your organization for what it is. So that is why I always believe in leading from the back, where I can quietly lead, but ensure that everybody feels like a leader and like a creating a sense of ownership, because ownership is super important. Everybody should feel that they own what they do, and that is what has really helped us, so far, creating this sense of leadership.
Absolutely. So when I look back at the fashion history, I would call it a fashion history of eyewear. So people were using eyewear only for they're having some eyesight problem, but now it is like a fashion statement. And also in between, somewhere like a decade ago, lenses came up, and now again people are adapting and going back to eyewears. So how do you make eyewear a style statement and not a shy statement?
A great question. So, the thing about eyewear, it is never something where you can get rid of,
Yeah,
contact lenses have always come as a complement to eyewear, because no matter how many hours you wear your contact lenses, your eyes will dry up. You will need to wear glasses, right? In end of the day, when before you go to bed at night, or there is a point of time, you will take out your contacts and you will wear glasses. And it is the first thing you pick up when you wake up in the morning. First thing I would say is the phone. Second thing are the glasses, which majority of people look for when they wake up in the morning,
Yeah, of
because
course.
you need glasses to read your phone, to see whatever is written on your phone, etc. So it is something that was originally commoditized, meaning
Mhm.
people had to wear it, and it was considered a like a deterrent, or a hindrance, that मेरे को चश्मे पहनने लगेंगे, अब मेरी आंख खराब हो गई, अब चश्मे पहनने पड़ेंगे. That used to be the trend historically, right? But today, today's generation, I would say millennials are now more so Gen Zs. They are focusing on celebrating themselves more than conforming to society. So historically, wearing glasses used to be considered like having an abnormality on the face. But
Yeah,
today's generation and today the shift is that we wear glasses to express ourselves. So that is why it's gone from a shy to a style, right? Because style
absolutely.
is all about self expression. Your style is subjective to you. It is the way you want to show yourself and to the world. It's how you want to be perceived. Versus my style is subjected to who I am. So, style today has become very linked to our individual personality,
Yeah,
the way we want to express ourselves, right? And fashion has become something that is very individual specific. So that is why eyewear has been a very integral part of fashion. It's the first thing people notice when they look at your face. फर्स्ट थिंग आपने नोटिस किया व्हेन यू सॉ माय फेस वाज, अरे आपके ग्लासेस
yes,
कितने कूल है, राइट?
absolutely.
It is a conversation starter, and it also helps showcase your confidence level. How confidently can I come on front of a camera wearing glasses and being who I am, rather than having to, put contacts and have my eyes water and then come on a podcast. So glasses should be as seamless as contacts. If you choose to wear contacts, great, but you can also be equally happy wearing glasses. So it's really a matter of choice, personal choice rather than confirmation.
Absolutely. And also with technological advancement, eyewear are coming for different purposes as well. It is not only for the abnormalities of the eyes, also like people who are using laptop, there is something called as anti-glare chashme. So those are also people using, and those were might not be back in those days. But here people can, I mean, accessorize, so they can accessorize it with any kind of mood or any kind of work or any kind of style statement.
So eyewear is one of the first, I would say one of the pioneers in wearable fashion.
Yeah.
Watches is obviously one wearable fashionable design device that we all, talk about. Smart watches today is wearable technology. Even a traditional watch is a technology, right? Because it's telling you the times. But now people wear it more for the fashion than for the technology. Now, similarly, eyewear is moving in that direction where it becoming, instead of becoming a need, a functional need, it is becoming a fashion. It serves your function. Yes, it will help you see better, but it is also a unique sense of expressing your style.
Absolutely.
So and also tech, which we talk about more. So it's a very interesting segment, and it's a very unique industry to be a part of, because it's neither fully fashion nor fully tech nor fully medical. It is come somewhere in between, which makes it
Yeah.
very exciting.
When we, in educational term, if I say it is kind of interdisciplinary, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Right. So, what is that one risk you took in your career that everyone thought like, oh, it's really a crazy risk or crazy step she is taking, but that actually worked for you?
So, yes, I would say we have taken many risks, but I have definitely spearheaded a lot of, decisions that have involved initial risk. But I believe in taking calculated risks. So I never believe in taking a risk just because of sake of taking risks, but doing a clear-cut assessment of the risk that we take. So one of the risks I would say that we took was introducing luxury fashion in GKB, and we did this by analyzing one store. So this one store in Calcutta has a certain brand mix and a certain segmentation that it has been focusing on for years. And we believed that this store has potential to do more luxury and more style. So we came up with this event called Wedding Edit. Now, we believe that eyewear is frame sunglass both, right? And wedding season in India, wedding is a big industry in India, right? And it is linked to very, very linked to fashion, because for weddings you need good designer clothes. Most of the people are wearing, their
Well,
latest, sherwani or some nice kind of lehengas, quad sets, all of those. Fashion has just boomed in the Indian market when it comes to weddings, and apparel has grown a lot. But somewhere eyewear, we felt, is also linked to the fashion space in a very, very big way,
yeah.
because we notice the haldi occasions that a lot of people, they're always looking for fashionable sunglasses. And they want those kind of specific sunglasses that they don't, that can help match their outfit and help them stand out. And we saw this as a very big trend in India. So we said, okay, as we want GKB to enter into the wedding space. But how do we enter into the wedding space? Because historically, GKB has always been known as selling a very, very technical product. It's never been
Mhm.
associated with fashion. So it was a big risk, to spearhead the company into a direction of fashion. So we said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the shelves. We're going to take down the existing inventory. We're going to do a trunk show where it's like a pop up. For 3 days, we will put these limited brands and styles that will be in the store for 3 days. We said, okay, we'll do a 3-day pop up. All right. In 3 days, if you don't make business, no problem. We will take the pop up down and we will operate as an existing store. And there was a lot of resistance in the team because people were skeptical, will this sell? Will this work? Will this not work? And with the organization that's been working a certain way for many years, there's a sense of comfort, it's worked this way. Why do we take a risk? Why do we try? It's happening the way it's happening. But we said, no, we should take this risk. So it was done with a lot of calculation. The store was chosen with a lot of assessment. For one, I mean, there are a lot of risks we take. 99 of them percent fail. And I believe we should fail, we should lose. But this one risk that was taken was a success for us. So ended up more business in those 3 days than we would have done in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So
And just 2 days, is it?
just 3 days, and we did more business than we could do in 2 whole weeks. And our store operations team, they came to us and they said, okay, why can't we keep the stock for, whole week? We should have kept it for longer. So I said, see, you were, apprehensive in the beginning, but now when you took the risk, you see, 1% does succeed, right? 99% will
Yeah.
fail, no problem. It's okay. But this succeeded. And then we made this an IP. We do this every year across 5 to 6 doors across India, where
Mhm.
for wedding edit event. So wedding edit is limited brands, luxury brands, from likes of Bulgari, likes of I would say Kajri brands, and we do it in our 5 key locations where there are our luxury stores, luxury
Mhm.
premium stores across the country. And we send invites to our customers. We do some PR. So people who are looking for something different can come and attend this pop up. And yeah, it's been a good success for us year on year.
All right. How did you see the growth of social media to 400%? I mean, what is the secret behind it? I would really like to know.
Okay. So basically, the reason why 400% was because we never had a social media before that. And
Mhm.
when I joined the company, this was about 6 years back.
Okay.
Our team was like, what is social media? Why is social media important? Because our company had worked offline and they were comfortable with the way things were going offline. And they're like, okay, people are coming to our stores. Why do we care about Instagram and Facebook? This is just for
Mhm.
small brands, not for us. And there was the sense of comfort that we don't need to be aggressive. We don't need to try, you know. We can do newspaper ads and jingles, and that's it. Where everybody knows GKB, right? But I said, everybody knows GKB today, but will people know GKB tomorrow, right? Will the newer generation know our brand? Will they know who we are? And then there was a lot of skepticism. So again, it was another risk, and it took a lot of convincing, a lot of interdepartmental changes and management structure restructuring changes. And it was difficult at that time because there was no focus and there was no priority. So creating that department, creating that structure, spearheading that was one of the biggest, I would say, challenges. Still a challenge. It's a never ending game, right? Digital marketing is like you're diving into the Mariana Trench. You go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And but it definitely gave us success because today people want to interact with your brand. They want to understand. That's the first thing people check when they want to see a brand. They check the social media, they check the website. So now, obviously, today it's become more important than ever. Your brand is not on social media, it has no value. So, it definitely took a journey, but yes, we were able to grow it, and we are still looking to grow it aggressively.
Absolutely. When we talk about a person or rather a company or anything in that case, we first go and check Google and check their social media and then we go and meet them in person. So it is very much essential, even for personal branding as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know the next question might look a little bit of bias because it will be a woman asking another woman. But I really would like to ask this question because since you are would be the right person to answer this one, there might be many misconceptions, but can you just point out one misconception that people have about women leaders in India?
So the misconception people have is a woman has to become a man or become too manly to be a leader, right? I don't think you that. I don't think you need to be extra masculine or extra aggressive to be a leader. You can be sensitive, you can be caring, you can understand people, you can be approachable. And I think the beauty is women move in their feminine energy, right? Majority of women are who embrace their, I mean, I would say heterosexual women who embrace their femininity, right? Even homosexual women can embrace their femininity, but I would say a woman in their in as a who identifies herself as a woman should, I would say, can be very, very powerful and dynamic, and also be very feminine and very soft and compassionate. You don't have to be the one who is always heard. You don't have to be having a sense of ego. And I think because women are naturally caregivers, right? They are caring in nature. They want to serve, and they want to do it from the goodness of their heart, not because they're have. And I think embracing these qualities and being more of a woman has helped me in my leadership. And today I can wear anything and still be very much a woman. I can come to office in a dress, I can come to office in a sari, in a salwar, in a business suit as well. I'm as much as a woman as I am. So I don't have to pretend to be more masculine to be a leader. I can move in my feminine energy and I can be a leader just as I am. So, that I think is very, very important. I strongly resonate in being comfortable in being the feminine, nurturing woman that I am, and yet be very dynamic and be really impactful in this space.
Like our audience base are students. So I would really like to ask this question. Does studying abroad really helps build a business or run a business?
I don't believe that studying
Uh-huh.
abroad is necessary unless you want to take certain qualities. So for me, the most important thing that really helped me when I studied abroad is it opened my mindset. I wanted an experience where I could interact with people from different cultures, from different ethnicities
Right.
across the world, and understand the way they live, and to be very empathetic, and it brought up a sense of confidence. But I think you can have that even if you're in India, right? Wherever you are, it's more about having a mindset than the location. You can also be abroad and not choose to have those experiences, and mostly stay with the kind of people you want to stay with, and not open yourself up to newer opportunities. So it's really about what your key takeaways are, and and what experiences you choose to have, because I believe education can be accessed anywhere today, but it's how much and the way you want to access the education, and what you, the kind of person do you want to become.
Yeah.
And if studying abroad has something to do with it, it does. But yes, I do believe that in case you want to work in a specific country, or you want to build a network there for your business or for your career, then you should have a goal why you want to study abroad. So it shouldn't just be for the heck of it that I want a fancy resume. A lot of people do it for their resume, to have that implication. But I believe it goes, it's also about the kind of person that you choose to become
Yeah.
studying abroad.
It is not necessarily studying abroad, even if like you go out of state or maybe out of city for your higher education, that also helps sometimes. And you're absolutely correct. Most of the students in our country, they do not go for studying and building a network, but maybe for the sake of society, that they need to go to study abroad. So that is also the case. That should not be the case. As you have correctly mentioned, there should be a motto or a goal while going for anywhere to study.
Absolutely.
Yes. So what would be your advice to the students who would like to start their own business?
So I do believe a business should have it. See, in my opinion, I think today you can make anything a business, but I do believe that one should not start business purely out of passion. And I know I may be contradicting a lot of students out there, might not like this statement, but a lot of people say, I'm very passionate and I just want to do this and everything. And at that young age, you have a lot of fire in the belly that I don't want to work right now. I just want to start and I want to, but I do believe your formative years of life should be one where you can humbly first get the experience and knowledge, understanding of the market, understanding where you're wanting to enter. And I always believe start small, start. Definitely start, right? Have that sense of inertia. Act. Action is very important. You can be creating a lot of vision boards and a lot of presentations, but you need to put it to practice. But I I always believe have the humility to work, with somebody, either with your family or with a professional organization, or and have the humility for the first few years of your life before you are completely equipped to start something, right? Because you may have all the ideas, but you may not have the experience and the emotional intelligence to stay with your business even through the hard times. So when I started working with my family, I entered during COVID, which was 2020. And it was I would say, not the most pleasant time for a business, right? For a company. Everything had become online. The consumer sentiments were very negative. And it was a challenging time at that time to have the conviction to get up and add value to the organization. And that was because we were young and we said, oh, this is the times we started, and these don't look like very good times for the economy, for the world, for people. But what I realized COVID gave me personally is it gave me that grit to continue even the challenging times. And if you can continue with an organization, continue with your work and keep persisting, then I think, you have the tools to not just start a business, but to sustain a business. Because starting a business can be easy,
Yes.
but sustaining a business is challenging. So I always believe that whatever you start in life, you should be able to sustainably grow and stick with it even through the hard times, because that shows your true mark as a leader.
Right, right. Absolutely. You have correctly mentioned that if you have passion for something, just because of that, do not start. It has to be calculative risk. It cannot be like I have to do it and I have to take a risk. It has to be calculative risk and calculate all the future aspects before you start.
Yes, I also believe start small.
Yes.
There is no shame in going door to door yourself if you have to.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I learned from my travels. I've traveled to many countries, and I
Mhm.
really tried to integrate myself in the lifestyle. This is something I learned when I was studying abroad for a brief stint in Japan. I learned that no matter what your background is, everybody is seen as equal, and a sense of humility should be there. That no matter how high fly I am in life, no matter how much money I have, my family has, if I have to go door to door, if I have to talk to people, if I have to connect in a minute level, I will do it.
Right.
So that is very, very essential. And then, as and when you can grow, you grow.
Yes. So, our next question would be like Gen Zs are really confused about their whether they agree or not, but they are really like confused about their career. So, why do you think that is the case, and what they can do to navigate through it?
It's a wonderful question. I would say I'm borderline Gen Z myself, right? I'm about 29. So I'm a cusp between a millennial and Gen Z.
Mhm.
And I think with Gen Zs, right, they're a very explorative generation
Mhm.
because the generations before them had no choice. Right. The generations of our parents, they hardly had a choice. They were told to even my parents were they didn't have much options. And if you think back in the day, it was either finance or commerce or this or doctor banna hai, lawyer banna hai, ye karna hai, wo karna hai. And even when it came to other decisions in life, like getting married or finding a partner, there wasn't much choice. Neighbor ki ladki ko pasand aa gayi, chalo usi se shaadi kar. It was easy. It was a simple generation. And there is this statement called the paradox of choice. What does that mean? Too many choices are bad. Now, if you think about the generation of Doordarshan, whatever movie was playing Doordarshan, everybody would watch whether
Everybody
they liked it.
wanted.
Today, your entire evening would go into finding the right movie to choose. Right. You may not end up even watching a movie. But back in the Doordarshan days, you would watch a movie because you had no choice. So life is like that. A career, a movie, a partner, it's the same. It's the same paradox. Today, we have so many choices that creates more confusion. So my advice to Gen Zs would be just, of course, remove the noise as much as you can from your life.
Yeah.
Noise, clutter, too much of scrolling, doom scrolling on social media is not too many vision boards and too many, I would say, I don't want to say negatively, but even hearing too much online.
Yes.
Remove that and look inwards for a bit. Spend some time free from digital clutter, spend some time understanding yourself better.
Mhm.
And it's easier said than done, but if you can devote 5 minutes also of your morning to mindfulness, you will be able to make decisions that suit you better than by what is told to you, what your friend is doing, or what will make you, more likable or whatever. But you should do things that resonate truly with who you are, because every individual is very unique and has their own value to add to this world.
Yeah.
If you can really spend some time understanding yourself through whatever mindful practice that works for you, please do it because that will really, really help you making the right decisions.
Absolutely. Sometimes I wonder, does people really like understand what other person has to say? I mean, when they browse through all these online, in that case, I say all those online cans and all. So, do they really listen to them? No, I think you only can understand yourself. You only can find out what is your purpose. No external noise, as you say, or no external motivation or anything can work. I think all these sort of things, nothing never works for anyone.
There's a very old, simple saying in Hindi, suno sabki, karo jo aap, Listen to everyone, ko jo bolna hai, aap sabki suno. Listen to everyone,
Yeah.
but do what works for you best. And that is when you truly listen to your inner voice. So I'm a big proponent of your inner voice. Your inner voice
Mhm.
never lies. Your inner voice is always beautiful, truthful, divine. Listen to that inner voice and you will always be.
Absolutely. Somebody told me that there is nothing called as motivation. It is always self motivation. कोई आपको मोटिवेट ये जो बोलते हैं लाइक मोटिवेशन कोच एंड ऑल दैट नेवर हैपेंस कि आप उससे मोटिवेट नहीं हो पाओगे. इट इज ऑल फन लाइक फॉर 1 or 2 days you will be okay, yeah, I have to do this, but then it doesn't stay with you for longer period of time.
Absolutely. I
Right.
totally agree with that.
All right. It was really an insightful conversation, and thank you so much for joining us in today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the questions, and I want to ask you, I want to ask you a question, if that is possible.
Okay. Yes, yes, of course.
And what has motivated you to be a podcaster? Because I love listening to podcasts today. I think it is, and it's so nice that you're focusing on students and you are putting positive messages across, because media can be both positive and negative, and it can be really spearheading change or it can be destructive, right? It's a very
Right.
powerful tool. So I want to ask you, what has been your motivation to start this podcast? And we'd love to know.
Yes. So I'll start with one recent achievement. So recently I defended my PhD, and basically I'm an engineer. And then I went to media with Times Now in their education desk. So I mean, I really had a different perspective to look into. I didn't want to work in core companies, but I wanted to deliver what I have learn to the next generation. So I always wanted to be in that student space. And I think working at Times Now, that really inspired me to be in this space. And that's how I started. And you correctly said that media has become, I mean, I don't want to contradict this, but yes, little bit of noise in media these days. And that has to be cluttered a little bit. And science, communication, education as a communication purpose. So all those things needs to be there in media, and that's why I think that I took that as a responsibility, and it's just a small initiative.
It's great to get to know that, and I really appreciate being a part of your podcast, and hope to see this grow a lot in
Yeah,
future.
yeah. Thank you. And I think Gen Z can resonate with you well because your thoughts and everything that really matches with them. So I really love to work with Gen Z.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
likewise. Because I think when you're closer to the generation, you can
Yeah.
resonate with it more, right? And you
Yeah.
understand how we think.
Yeah.
So I think it's great to be a Gen Z yourself when you're talking to Gen Zs, because you can help much more.
Absolutely.